Salam and hello, my name is Abbas.
My name is In'am.
We're doing this show called Locally Yours.
Locally yours. Locally yours.
Salam and welcome to another episode of Locally Yours. This is your host Abbas, and as you can see, I'm wearing a gaming t-shirt because ESports sent me this t-shirt. I'm just joking. Actually, I got this because I bought a video game. And talking about video games, some people grow out of it when they grow old, and some people grow into video games even more because they understand that real life is too stressful. So why not just turn around and play some video games, right? But I'm no expert, okay? I'm a casual gamer. I game on my smartphone. I am a console gamer. So for a lot of PC gamers out there, you might be like, haha, console gamer, what are you talking about? But that's why I have an expert on board with me. And it's the one and only Mr. Asaad. Asaad, you are the technical and game development organizer, and how many more things should I add ahead of this? Because when it comes to video games, you're the one spearheading the scene in Oman. So before we get to what you're doing for the gaming industry, tell me about yourself. What do you do and what got you into video games, and then you got so serious about it?
Okay, let's see. Let me just helping you for that introduction. I usually technical expert and let's say esport and let's say e-gaming development. Now the name is changing year by year, of course, and everyone is evolving. And when we say it about like this, people think it is a video game, right? But if you speak about myself, alhamdulillah, my background is mostly in IT. I was in IT sector, living computer games, computers, let's say, birth and computer and code, building that kind of things. And of course, video game was one part that gave me the passion and go highly when you're speaking about how the video games coming to our life, not just for part-time, but even passion to be a part of your work, actually. So in shortcut, I am a technical expert with esport and e-gaming development organizer or organization, let's say, with my, of course, team.
And what made you think of doing this or starting something or, making sure that gamers out there, but e-athletes, that's what they're called now, they get a platform to actually make a mark on the international map?
Okay, coming to that, we need to go to the beginning when the gaming starts, right?
See, even talks like a gaming intro, right?
Yeah.
Like, for that, let's go back in time. I'm loving
that's
this.
true. By the way, that's true. It's because if you know the history, you know where the world is going to be,
Of course, yes.
Like what's happening in every other sector when we're speaking about these kind of things, like data, let's say, the digital transformation, where this has happened and why it's come to the market, right? Then so many technology coming before because of gaming, like meta or metaverse. It's actually started with the games. People didn't think that the first meta universe or the world happened, it was inside Fortnite.
Right.
So that's why Fortnite, one of the platform for gamers and very, very ads, new movies coming up. You want to have something, let people know about it. You can put it in Fortnite as a skin, put it as a smaller video.
As we're on the subject, so sorry to interrupt, but people who spend on skins in a video game, are they respected in the gaming community? I buy a lot of skins actually, and I pay money for it.
Yeah, some people like to be, nowadays what happens is if you go to the skins part, you need to look somebody very famous and that skin, right? Now there is skin like, for example, a famous act or famous football players or famous, let's say, action movies guy, right? You need to be that dude inside the video games. Or now superheroes they're adding, for example, you need to be like Superman or Dragon Ball, which is inside. When I speak about a little bit Fortnite or even Call of Duty doing that same. So you need to do that, especially to show the others people, oh, this guy have the skins. It's not about you buying it or not. It depends on you. But people using it to look different than other normal casual gamers, right?
Right.
Yeah. Coming to the story part, of course, gaming is there from 80s and 70s when this fighting start with the consoles and PCs. But usually the first game start when the PCs come out. Right. When the computers engines come out, the gaming start from there to build this kind of community. Speaking about me, I started playing games from I was kids. Mostly I have all the consoles usually, which is come to our regions. And I have, let's say...
Did you miss any console in between?
Yeah.
Which one?
If you're speaking about missing something old school one, like first Sega, I don't have it.
All right, this interview is over. I'm leaving. Okay, you missed out on a Sega. That was the thing, right?
No, 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 no.
Everyone was
People,
buying
no, no,
Sega.
no. There is,
What
there
were
is
you?
Mega Drive.
Yes, exactly. And
This
there
is
was
what
Mega
you
Drive
know.
2 as well.
This is what you know. There is other first console from Sega, mostly same shape of Atari when they start coming to the market. Yeah, and there is also Nintendo consoles because people don't think you love cards, right?
Yeah.
Nintendo was in card business, by the way.
Right. Trading cards, you mean?
Trading card, playing
Or
cards.
just-
It's a card
okay.
game. All card games depends.
Oh, wow. So that's Nintendo's history.
And that's the history in the beginning of Nintendo.
Wow, okay,
So
okay.
then they come to the consoles when they see Ataris and how much they're making monies. Because if you're coming about the culture before you go to this area, when it's like, if you remember Al Harthi area or
Yes, the
like
arcades.
arcades. Was the only place you go and play games by buying coins and play that kind of games, right? But usually these companies, they said, why we didn't bring this at homes? So this is the history of consoles. When we speak about consoles, how the consoles come to the market, or let's say
Right.
come to your home,
Yeah.
and you can play the games that you love in the arcade, but at home anytime you need. No need to pay money. It's one time.
Before we
payment.
move on, God bless people who created these game consoles. Yeah. Yeah. Especially with people who don't have friends. It helped
okay.
a lot. Okay. Yeah. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
So coming to the history, if we come about how I start this after in 2013, when people gathering out and having concerts and building friends and communities, I start my YouTube. I joined with a YouTube channel called
And how long back was this? What year?
2013.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, first YouTube channel. My plan to have my own in that time, but
Okay.
there is already some people already in Oman have the YouTube channel doing review of the gaming, playing games and extra.
Okay.
So I joined that group called Heroes of Lag.
Okay.
Okay, Heroes of Lag. So from there I start my journey to
Did I get that right? Heroes of Lag.
Lag. Yeah.
That's so funny, actually.
Yes, it's funny.
Yeah, it's like
funny.
playing around like we're the heroes of lag. So basically, if you lose, you can always blame the lag, right?
The lag, the internet connections, the lag, what happened with you. That's true. That's true. So yeah, it's named Heroes of Lag. I start doing review with famous companies like PlayStations, Sony's, Bandai Namco, Ubisoft. They're sending games to us. We do our review and we give a score into that games. Then in 2015, before that, there is a community in the beginning. It's called QFGCC, which is King of Fighters, coming from the game itself. They start their tournament, start doing fighting games community.
For people who don't know, King of Fighters, it was an old school game. It was in the arcade as well.
Yeah.
And the moves were crazy. I mean, we had what? Like 50 hit combos, 60 hit
my
combos.
God.
You're a King of
Yeah,
Fighters,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
just that's it, you're done. Like, once it catches you with the super move, you're done. Like, ta 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 ta. The player would keep flying up,
need
up,
to know,
up, and
yeah.
you're like, where are you going? Come back. Oh, good old days, man. Good old days.
So this was a startup of that, let's say, community and organization, and I take it in professional way that it's time to have it not just for community, to creating event and to start esport, which is global wise. The target in that time, of course, there is to make it easy to people who are seeing us. There is a football people are playing at, let's say, neighborhood, right? Their dream to get a World Cup. As examples, so there is a journey for that, right? So we start building our journey to have the World Cup, which is Evo in that time, and still now, which is owned by Sony now. Evo, it's the World Cup for fighting games. I'm confusing people. Don't know, but if you win Evo, it's like you win a World Cup in esport, let's say, fighting games part, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So Evo is like the top. Apex
Still
predator,
now, of
right?
course, there is so many events like what happened in
Of
Saudi
course,
Arabia.
they're like
We'll
these
come to
small
speak
scale
about
ones,
it.
but you're
Yeah.
saying Evo is right on top.
But
Okay.
who bring the name in the GCC area? Of course, Saudi Arabia start with the eSport World Cup. The name it was a World Cup, and it's now also a second target for people who want to be a famous and win a good prize, of course. So my plan is to have something similar to Oman in that time. So we focus a lot till now, alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, to 2024. I did some event, but still it's shy, I can say. There is a lag, we will speak about it, why it's
okay.
happening up.
Yes.
But this is like the history, how we started. And of course, we are not just focusing in fighting games now. There is another games like group, like Call of Duty and shooting, FIFA, FC24 now.
Rocket League.
Rocket League, Dota 2.
it's there.
Yeah, Fortnite for people who like
Okay.
this. Yeah. One just small hint, people are thinking it is easy to, but usually the esport part or this kind of gaming, it's like chess. When you are playing, need to think, need to do your moves right. When you speak fighting games, it's not just two are fighting. No, they are reading the frames, how many frames each hut is there. So why I'm saying this is like it's mostly not just come take the joystick, play for fun, which is there. But if you're going to the competitive, you need to learn a lot about the game and characters, how many characters and how many people are fighting. Even in Dota and LoL, which is League of Legends, you need to know which one, what is his specialty, what is his weakness, which is not easy. That's why it's become esport.
And also what I've noticed, I think recently I started watching, I know I'm a little late to the party, but I started watching Sonic Fox from who plays Mortal Kombat. I think he's dated now. Is he still in the scene, or because I used to watch his videos?
Yeah, it is in the scene, but he usually this kind of players, they are going by trend of game.
Oh, yes, that explains why when Mortal Kombat was doing really well, he was playing that, and then I watched one of his interviews where his training was revealed, how he trains to be an e-athlete.
Okay.
And it's a tough routine, let me tell you that. I mean, it's like literally getting abs in your brain. That's how much you have to work. Like you have to do crunches with your brain to actually crack the code that if I take this player, what counter I have for the player against me, how will I use it, when will I, it's too much science for me.
It is when you are trying to be a professional, this is the time when you're speaking about professional, right? Now we're still in the casual part and how we start, right? So people think first we need to break that video games is for fun. Yes, it's true, but it's time to take it as a professional career. Some people build to be a professional careers. Now in our region, let's say there is some countries like neighborhood, which is Saudi Arabia and UAE and even Egypt. Now Jordan come to the scene, by the way. They start to have this player as a career. Yani you will be registered not just as an employee in IT, as a player in, for example, FC24, in FC25, or in Street Fighter, or in that. You are as a player. So your time routine, as you said, you need to learn how to beat others, which is maybe advanced, need time, gaming, sometime what you need to eat, exercise you need to do. So it's a fully ecosystem, which is still people, like, financially still in Oman, we are having that lag for
actually
ecosystem.
As we're on the subject, first of all, I completely agree that yes, gamers, e-athletes, it's not just working your eyes or your reaction time or how quickly you can get to a button that you're supposed to press.
True.
But also physically, mentally, like they're very focused. Okay, first of all, like it's I would say video games, like I used to say this for comedy, that comedy is a serious business. But now I also know, after watching a few documentaries about gamers, that gaming, esports is tough. It takes a lot of dedication. Okay, that is if you're taking it up seriously. So as we're on the subject now, as it's tough and there's some challenges.
Yeah.
Let's bring back our focus to this beautiful country, Oman.
Yes.
What challenges do you think we have here for e-athletes to actually overcome, to make a mark on the international scene, where we start seeing players on a regular basis on an international map from Oman?
Okay. The good things now, Oman already started to focusing in this period. Maybe we are not late and we are not in advance on this. But alhamdulillah, we start by announcing that we have a foundation of the esport and gaming authorities, which starts from Ministry of Youth and Sport here in Oman, which is a good start.
It is indeed.
But what we are not about lagging. Let's give some numbers. Let people open their eyes. Now in the GCC or MEA, we already reached 6 billion revenue. 6 billion revenue from esport. I'm not speaking about building games. I'm not speaking about building studio, which is one part coming on that.
Right.
I'm not speaking about content creator like you guys are doing here with the social medias.
I'm a content creator? Are you saying that on camera?
Yeah. It's a good thing.
Small wins. That's good.
But that's true. People like me or gamers, usually they have a YouTube channel. So they are creating some money from YouTube, by the way. But we are handling them, taking them, guiding them? This kind of things. People.
And we're talking about just YouTube, or are we talking about like other platforms like Twitch and anything to do with streaming?
Anything to do with the streaming. But people knowing, to make it easy to them to understand.
YouTube is the go-to
Of
thing,
course, for
yes.
gamers, there is a Twitch, which is much famous.
And is it more money compared to YouTube when you compare Twitch?
If you are working, yeah. I'm speaking about old schools. People are coming with Ferraris, just a streamer.
Wow.
Yeah, and there is some names. When I speak
So
about
that was your Ferrari parked outside.
no, it's not my Ferrari. Don't let people think that I have money. I still don't have that money. More money.
Inshallah, sometime, and why not?
So yeah, when you speak about Evo did not have that time in the beginning when they start. They don't have their own channel. They start with the streamers that have millions of people watching them. So they're asking them to come do the commentaries, ask them to join contact together with the Evo. Till Evo have their own channels, then they bring the streamers to speak to their channels. But usually the event like this, you need somebody who booming the internet, because everything is digital. When we keep it in the internet, it will be there forever. This is another lag which people think there is no gamers in Oman. I will give you a small example. When I try to invite, without naming the biggest companies which is doing the games to come to Oman, they said there is no gamers. I said, who told you? Because we have a figure. I know that's true, because usually the gamers in Oman register when they register in the games and they want to enter the servers, which is the gaming servers, or let's say competitive or playing to others, they need to register other US or Saudi Arabia or UAE in the region.
Because the population that you get from these servers, like you will find the players very soon.
You'll find Omani is playing with you from US account, and sometime from UAE account, or even sometime I speak of myself, I have US, Japanese, Europe account, and of course one of them was Omani, but usually I use this kind of 4 countries when it depends on the game part, right? So I need to play with others. I play to other account, which is I will find people are playing with me. So this is sometimes the numbers give it to these companies that there is no gamers in Oman. This is the work should be happening with the foundation.
So just to break this down a little further for our viewers, so you're saying that when you register as an Omani player, you technically register under Saudi Arabia. That's why they have a bigger number, right?
Yeah, that's true. But let me give you a numbers. For example, how many players? More than 7 millions now, nearly to 68. 68 million players in 3 main countries like UAE, Saudi Arabia, and Egypt. We don't consider all MEA or let's say GCC countries, which have a huge. But I will give you example, some numbers. So 58 players, it's in Egypt. Then the divided will be between these two. Saudi Arabia is increasing and UAE. But if you see numbers, we usually share this kind of number for them, for their benefit. This is when I speak about ecosystem, when you said why we are not there anymore. I will give you example of C24, the t-shirt you have. If you register as Omani, you're not allowed to play as a competitive player with their servers.
Oh, wow. Because Oman that's new information, okay.
Yeah,
and the reason behind that is?
Still not registered with them as a country of... there is a rule and regulation from the publisher, which is EA. Oman need to follow it up and need to work with that. Then there will be Omani players from home, they can do it. I will give you example. Before 3 weeks, there is a players, more than 10 to 20 players from Oman travel to UAE to play, by the way. And every weekend.
Wow.
And they need to play from morning till evening. They need to complete around 20 matches without losing. So there is, and they are doing it because they want to go to the World Cup, which will be in UK or France, whatever. So I'm giving you just a small example how they are struggling when its ecosystem need to be helping and doing that for them. As I said, they're accepting 100 million players will be in these 3 countries alone. And I think it's the time to have our own data and playing gamers, our own data and revenue generated, which is, I think they are trying to reach out, but still they need some time for it.
Right.
But we are, as a let's say, as infrastructure, Oman trying to do, but I think it's the time we are as an expert with the people who are doing this to hand it together and send it. And one of the things I did, to be honest, I built a 5-year strategy for ecosystem.
Whoa.
How can we do that? Let people know that we are not just playing at home.
5 years. I have no clue what I'm going to do in the next 5 days, if I'm honest to you. 5 years, this gentleman right here.
Yeah, which is having 3 main things that we need to focus. We cannot bring all the ecosystem of gamers together, because there is esport organizing and building teams, which is one part. Then we have e-gaming, we call the building studios. Let Omanis have their passion to build games in mobile, maybe in the beginning, then go to the PC, others. I give a small example. The last version of SNK, there is a character which is handling a Middle East called Gina, and the backstage drawing, it was from a Omani lady. And she's a Raisi. I say hi to her. And this,
hello.
She win because they make a competition, and of course she go to Saudi Arabia, register under Saudi Arabia. I'm telling you, under a Saudi Arabia, one of the companies, and she went to backstage drawing, and they take it and then they make it, and you can see it a backstage which drawing and win by SNK, which is of players, and the character made by Saudi's ladies, and they created for the region itself.
So a question, basically, from what I understand, that the challenges right now in Oman is that
let's make it infrastructure need to be harder, because what happens
is players have to travel outside Oman if they, because there is talent, like you say, right, and like you rightly said that there is immense amount of talent in Oman, but they can't stay here and kick off their career. For now,
yes. Some games they need to. They need to travel outside and register the server of their account to that country and play till they get their names. By the way,
so basically what you're saying is that even the players in Oman are being registered under Saudi or some other country.
Some account, yes.
So we have players. It's just that they're being registered under some other server.
Yes.
But you can definitely track it down that this player is from Oman, right? Like, I mean,
when you are playing by IP address and those things, of course,
makes sense.
You can. But sometimes what happens if you win and your name is registered, they will tell you cannot come with the Omani identity. By the way, you play from UAE,
and that's the gap you're trying to bridge, right now, and you're doing it formally. You're taking help from the authorities. You're making sure it's a professional. It's a very professional approach towards this problem.
Yeah. I will tell you small gap what's happening. When this foundation is announcement, they think it is the good way to do event and let people come and play. Let's do competition, tournaments, let's say. But actually there is a big gap between making that and what about the infrastructure downstairs. How the players will come to you, how the players will play, why they should come and play. When there is only a small gift you guys give at one time, of course there is playing coming up.
Give them halwa also.
Yeah, I know. Halwa is very
priceless,
good.
man. But okay,
yes, it is. But what I'm speaking about, it's we need to little bit think backward. Yes, we still in the beginning, and this is good time to build the ecosystem and infrastructure from start. So one of the strategy I'm trying to do is called University eSport Gaming, which is when you start from the people who are still studying in the colleges, giving this kind of things. As I know, even some of the education, they try to do gamification in their schools, and this coming from games. How the VR come and people are using it in development is come from games, by the way. How we loved some of the characters and some of the movies, it's come from games. So there is some how people are like to play and watching, let's say football. Some people like to watch only.
Right.
By the way, 90% or 80% because they're playing games in football gaming or let's say shooting games and they like it.
I'm one of them. I don't play football. I don't watch football like until it's El Clasico or the finals of the FIFA World Cup.
Okay.
Then I'll watch it. But otherwise, because of FIFA, the video game, I know the player names. Like I can sit down with players and someone goes like, "Oh, Real Madrid, this player, the right winger, he's really quick." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I know that. I know his stats because I play." I'm being very serious. This is not even like a joke or I'm trying to like add this to make it fun. It's the reality. I learn a lot of facts through video games.
Yeah.
Like there's some game there are few games that have such intense storyline, and there's such lessons that you learn while you game because while you're going through the story, you also have to show patience.
I will tell you something. Maybe it's fun. People do not believe, but I used the dictionary to learning English because of video games. When I have PS1, I played game called Metal Gear 1.
Oh yeah.
You know that?
Yes,
right?
yes.
This game is more about history. It's about so much history. Of course, it was about Cold War in that time between the countries without machine names and this podcast. But because I'm watching, my understanding is a few. So I was using dictionary because some of the, let's say, solving problems, solving puzzles inside the game, you need to have English background,
Right.
which as I was in that time when I was studying in high school was very difficult.
Yeah, like right now he can steal my job if I'm honest. Like I'm really worried about this podcast. Once it's over, they will be like, Asaad, you sit. Abbas, get out of the room. So
Yeah,
I'm expecting that
no,
because
no.
mashallah, like the way you have explained everything about the gaming industry right now.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm a casual gamer and there are a lot of people out there who are not professional gamers and they just do it for fun. But knowing that someone is out there working hard to make sure that people who want to do it seriously, you're putting a platform for the Omani youth or anyone living in Oman who wants to take gaming as a serious, profession.
Let's make it easy to understand because we speak too much. You ask about the gap and links. I let's put it in 3 points.
Right.
One of them is education and patient and infrastructure and ecosystem. This need to be done. People who want to be from legatory, or let's say what they need to do.
Yeah.
And are there like e-commerce or let's say platform that's supporting them to be this, okay? In the education part, there is a path that helping them to be a professional, right? I'm not saying we need to add it in the school. I'm not saying we need to add it in college, but there is some way that people can go and learn and become a professional, right?
Right.
So this is the ecosystem part. Second thing, building talent. Still, we don't have it in Oman. Usually what you're seeing as a professional players or let's say a good players, they are their own hard workers. They're playing at homes, they're playing with their friends, they're meeting others, meeting GCC online. So they're doing everything is alone, and it's time to let's academic helping them to build this talent. And of course, guidance, which one part for people who are doing content creators in gaming part and rule and regulation for gaming part, building a company. And like what's happening is there is a media agency, but there is gaming agency, by the way, which is globally. They are doing events, they are handling sponsorship, they are doing their small community gathering, which is we need it. This is when I speak about 3 points and how can we increase it. It goes slowly, but this is what happened as a use case in 2 countries which we can nearby, and it's go very well.
Inshallah, I hope that it goes really well. And before we end this podcast, it's a question that I wanted to ask you because recently I've been reading a few articles, and from what I noticed, that there's a bit of like this friction between the gamers and the big developers because now games have turned into like profit-making machines, right?
I'm telling you,
like I said, skins. Back in the day, I would play the game to win a skin. I know when I finish the game, I would get 2 bonus skins, and I can show that off as an achievement to other players that hey, I beat this game under whatever. Like Resident Evil 5, I beat that game in 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Good.
A speed run kind because I just skipped everything I could.
Yes.
My personal best. I think it was more than 2 hours, 20 minutes, somewhere close to 3 or 4 hours. But I got an infinite rocket launcher in that game. And people were like, whoa, you got that because you beat the game under the time limit because it was one of the milestones of the games.
Yeah.
But now from what I see, you pay money, you can get the gold skin,
games,
which is... And not only this factor, but also games in general, like the heritage of certain games that have been, altered in some way because there was a new developer who took over this developer and now they're changing the game. So just to put this question in a nutshell, where do you think the game industry is going? Do you think that it's going to go on a decline after this friction between developers and gamers? Or do you think it's just a small tussle between 2 old friends that's going to get resolved soon?
See, I am a Platinum Hunter. They call it Platinum Hunter. So when I beat a game with 100 and 100 and 100. So for example, last Platinum I get, it was Wukong. Yeah, the game is Wukong.
Yeah.
You need to have all the skins, you need to have all arms, you need to have all weapons, you need to have all seeds, which sometimes take days and days to get
right.
So yeah, this is still there. There is people who are doing this and they are getting money from Sony now as a point, and you can buy from the website if your account is US. Again, huh?
There you go.
Yeah.
So and basically just on the accounts, people are also selling the accounts, right? Like they'll
some people make money, because you have, let's say 100 games, which is unique in your account. Take my account with this kind of amount and this. But some people are making fool for others for this, so you need to be careful when you buy it.
Don't buy from me. That's what he's trying to say.
Yeah.
If Abbas gets in touch with you, they have a great account.
Yeah.
Don't.
So he can go to his Gmail and reset the password and he get it back. That's true. Okay, coming to the part of development. developers and gaming part, now they're trying to make it much easier than before. To make it honest with you, you beat the game with 2 hours. Now you can buy it with some money, right? Example. I'm giving you examples. What happened is they want more players. This is the more players coming up. Small example. People maybe will hit me a little bit. For example, Street Fighter, the new one, Street Fighter 6. They create a mode called the classic mode, which is you need to do all the moves from A to Z to do the moves. And there is a casual, let's say, easy mode, which is you need to do it in 2 buttons and the moves will happen. So, and they allow it even in some competitive tournaments, which is people in tournaments who study hard can beat with a one casual who understand the move it very well, right? Because they want more players. So when you said this gap is there, no, they are grabbing more and more and more players.
Right.
That's why the numbers of players and game become higher.
So the trend has been going higher, in terms of like players joining and new players
join. Let's say
I'm talking about the global industry.
You're speaking about Resident Evil. Let's make it easy. Resident Evil before the buzzers was not easy. You need to bring 3 jewelry from red, and you need to go some area, and you bring it, and you need to move the clock to some times, and you need to read what happened before and document to answer it. Now it's become much easier. You can do it in speed run. You said in 1 hour or 2 hours, because you can go and you have everything from beginning, and you can do it in faster way.
Because back in the day, I remember when you wanted to beat a game, and if you wanted a walkthrough, you had to buy a magazine that you would sit and go
this
through.
Is before social media.
And now you have like full videos. You have videos explaining how to beat the game sooner than your own personal best.
You like the history. You know who started this?
No.
Nintendo started. Nintendo have a call center. When you have a game, you cannot beat it. You can call this call center. You watch this documentary, right? So they started because in that time there is no way to see from YouTube how you can beat this boss, for example, in an easy way, right? Now everything is there, and even PlayStation helping you sometime with a small short where you can find this and what you need to do in some area if you open this assist for you, right? And the game itself, they have,
and it also gives you a choice. I believe even the games they have like beat the boss or just move ahead. Like, back in the day, it was like, hey, you got to go through this. Like, you better go through this.
You need to play from software games like Dark Souls.
I've never tried Dark Souls because it's too hard. I read about it and I was like, I shouldn't try it.
People are fighting for see how can I beat this or how many I die on this boss.
So, the name itself says Dark Souls. Now, the developers had a Dark Soul for making it so hard, I mean, I watched some videos and the bosses are crazy. Like, one slash and you're dead and you're like, now I have to start all over again because, even the checkpoints are far away.
Sometimes,
But Asaad...
coming to the point. Yes. I understand.
Yes. So you were saying, yes.
Yeah. So about the developer and the gaming, no. They are grabbing more gamers. And there is, if you see the numbers of developing games, it's very huge. Starting when the mobile games start up. They are eating the market more than 70 sometimes. 80,
wow.
Okay. Then the PC and console, they are sharing between 50-50 or let's say 70-80. Depends on the games. Because Sony till now, they have their games. PC, sometimes you find games which you cannot find it in that. So usually gamers, they will play in all platforms as a casual
exclusive titles.
So find it. And even Xbox and Microsoft also have their own games. So this is a small example what the developers trying to do and how they built and how they enter the market. Some people enter it from the mobile as a game, then they're doing a console game or let's say a PC games.
Right. Yeah. Well, Asaad, I just hope that whatever you're planning for the people of Oman, for these e-athletes, I hope it works out. And I hope that I can see a platform, inshallah, as soon as possible, where I see players coming out of Oman and making a mark on the international map. Because let me tell you, if you are an aspiring gamer, there's a lot of money, in this industry. So, I mean, if you're planning a future and you're like, but video games won't pay my bills. Oh, believe me when I say this, they'll pay your bills and everyone else's along with you. So, Asaad, once again, thank you so much for coming, here and taking time out and talking to us. And this was a pretty interesting topic. Like, I had an amazing time talking about it.
Thank you.
And I just hope that whatever you're planning and whatever you discussed on this show, it flourishes, inshallah. And yes, if you want to comment on this video about your favorite game or some game that you missed from your childhood, make sure that you comment, you talk to us, or if you have any questions, you can ask Asaad on the video. You can watch this on YouTube. It'll be on Instagram, Times of Oman page. So make sure you follow us. And yes, I'll have Asaad now leave me because I've been holding him here for all this while, okay? He's a busy man, so he needs to go. Asaad, Shukran, man.
Thank you.
For
Thank
all
you
the
very much.
feedback. Let's not move the mics. And
Yes.
I'll see you when I see you. You there, take care. And yes, I'll see you in the next one, inshallah.